Oh my goodness. You know, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna do a video pretty soon. Hopefully this isn't cut off what I just said. But I was just gonna say 20 seconds in, it should be good. I'm gonna do a video pretty soon about karma and one particular historical figure who has changed my opinion about it. I mean, sometimes I think it exists, but other times not. But pandemic power trippers is what I want to talk about, and just a short video. So I was just at the post office, and it's freaking ridiculous, man. Well, I'll back up for a second. So I was at, let me take this thing off. I was at the park. Shoot, man, and this is probably 2 months ago now. Yeah, something like 2 months ago. And public park. It was actually the day I was making my Epstein video, how Epstein changed my consciousness. And I wasn't planning on making this video, but I just gotta share it because I haven't shared it yet. And I was just chilling there, you know, I was just enjoying the weather. It was really beautiful out, and I think I was reading, and I eventually just took a nap and laid down. It was really nice. And nearby there's a daycare, and this daycare was still going on despite the pandemic. And so I see this group of children walking towards me in the park while I'm just chilling, and they're coming from the daycare. I guess it was playtime for the children. And there was a woman with them, and by woman I mean probably an 18 or 19-year-old. So keep that in mind with what I'm about to say. And so I'm just chilling there, you know, I'm just relaxing. It was really peaceful, actually. I was just on my back, just meditating and listening to the sounds of the children playing, which was quite peaceful. And then there was this girl who, she was kind of having a bit of a fit. It wasn't a temper tantrum, but she was like not in a good mood. And I was chilling on this tree, and I didn't realize it, but she had come to the other side of the big tree that I was on, and she was just like chilling there. And the other kids were like off, you know, down a bit. And I don't know, sometimes I read into these situations too much, but you know, my thought was, man, maybe she's missing her father in a way. Or like, why is she trying to get my attention? You know, because it seemed like she was trying to get, this little girl was trying to get my attention. Even though this babysitter or caretaker, you know, the nanny, she was trying to, you know, calm this little girl who obviously was not doing that well. Look at this kitty. Female? She looks female. What's your name? Huh? I was right. It's a female. And so she was trying to calm her, and she was like on the other side of this tree, right? So I was like reading into it. I was like, maybe her, you know, maybe her dad is not at home, and she's trying to, you know, she's just looking for any sort of male influence. Maybe not, I don't know. But it reminds me of another time when I was volunteering for this company called Madison Music Makers in Madison, Wisconsin, which no longer exists. But there was this little boy, he was like 6 or 7, and he was having a fit too, and he just latched onto my leg, and I didn't know what to do because I don't think I'm naturally good with children, and certainly not back then. This was like, shoot, wow, this is 5 years ago now. Shoot, man. And he was like latching on my leg and just like, he wouldn't let go, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I was thinking, I was like, he probably doesn't have a father at home. And I asked, and I was right. He didn't have any father. So maybe that was what was going on with this girl, I don't know. And this caretaker, this nanny, she comes up to me and she's like, yeah, you can't be here. I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, you have to leave this park. I was like, no, I don't. Under whose authority? She's like, oh, the daycare. I was like, the daycare has no authority over me whatsoever. I looked at her right in the face. And I was like, I didn't swear. I was like, there's a sign outside the park, like right when you go in. It says, what did it say? It's like anybody can use the park as long as you social distance, something like that. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna go check. I was like, you do that, woman, little girl. And then she comes back, she's like, oh, you're right. I didn't even say anything. I was like, yeah, I know I'm fucking right. Dumb bitch. Maybe I should edit that out. But anyways, how am I tying this into the post office? So I was just at the post office, and I get there, and there's quite a few people that got there right after me, just for the morning rush, I guess, or right when they opened up. And I'm about to check out. I mean, I'm about to put my card in the slot, and this supervisor, this fucking Karen, comes out the back and is like, you gotta wear a mask. And she just points out the door. And the girl who was helping me, her name was Merritt, I asked her. The woman who was helping me, she was like what? She's like, what's going on? I was like, what's the problem? And then she's like, I'm not the police, you know. That's what she said. And she's like, please, God dang it. She's like, please don't argue. Her supervisor was, please don't argue with me. I was like, oh my God. So I didn't make a, what's up, Chris? I didn't make a small situation into a big one. I literally said nothing. I was just like, okay. So I'm like 5-minute walk away. So I just walked back to the crib and got my mask, and then I went in and I shipped it. And let's just say that woman hooked me up, you know, because, you know, I said to her, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, I'm sorry for you, because your coworkers suck. I didn't say that, but I was just like, no, I'm sorry for you. Like, I've had coworkers like that before. And she's like, yep, only, you know, I think she said 200 days left. And I was like, yeah, who's counting? And I was about to stick my card in, and she's like, oh, no, don't do that. So I got rewarded for keeping my cool. And I was gonna, you know, confront them, but they're both hiding in the back. Literally, I show up, it's just the one woman who is actually trying to help me. And and I didn't mention this, and when I say both of them, it was the supervisor, Karen, and this other woman who helped me yesterday. She was so rude and just unhelpful. And she was like, oh, I didn't have a sticker yet. So, I mean, I usually use FedEx, just because they're not USPS, which is just garbage. But, you know, USPS was closest. And at FedEx, you buy the label at the counter. And at USPS, you have to attach the label already, and I forgot this. And she's like, where's your label? I was like, oh, shoot. And then she's like, labels are over there. I asked her, and she's like, labels are over there. And then she's like, I can help whoever's actually ready next. I was like, okay. And the woman behind me, she's like, hey, how are you? You know, all sweet to her, asked her how she's doing. She never asked me how I'm doing. And then she said good day to this woman as well. Never said good day to me. And that was yesterday. That wasn't the supervisor. That was this other woman who was another one of these blondes who dye their hair blonde. And she was just rude. They were both rude. Unnecessarily. And unhelpful. And I looked up the reviews for this particular post office, and it's like 2 stars, 2.5 stars. I was like, well, that's not surprising. So I think I'm going to leave a review and just not say anything, because I was thinking about naming them and being like, these 2 women were unhelpful and somewhat rude. But the one woman hooked me up, you know. She definitely, I mean, she was actually trying to help me. And the other 2 were just being rude and unhelpful for no reason. And I got rewarded for, you know, I guess for being polite to the one woman. I'm not gonna say exactly how, but I think you guys can read between the lines. So I just wanted to share that, and I told her when I left, I was like, I'm gonna pay it forward. And she's like, okay, do that, please. At first she's like, no, because I think she thought I said pay it back. But I said, no, I'm gonna pay it forward. She's like, okay, please do that. And then she's like, have a good day. I was like, you too, bye. So it just goes to show you that sometimes you know, you do get rewarded in the karma sense. So yeah, these people who power tripping in the pandemic, you know, they think they have authority over you when they really fucking don't. And that's happening everywhere. And it's BS. Anyways, I'm about to head to the airport. Cheers.